Oh gosh, absolutely. Breathwork has been probably the foundation of my healing, to be very honest with you. I can remember being introduced to breathwork actually almost a year before my accident, just not even realizing it
Hmm.
because of the yoga and exercises that I had been doing. But when the accident happened, I had my first physical therapist was amazing. I've had three. My first physical therapist was amazing because it was really, really difficult for me to be in a waiting room. So they would immediately kind of get me back into the room, have all the lights down. And so because my brain was yet healing, I think at that time, my executive functionality was hovering around 30%. Um, One of the things that she would do is she would have me take my socks and shoes off and begin to repeat back to me, grounded to the earth, so that I could reset, coming from my home to being a passenger in the car to actually getting out the car, and even riding in the car was a lot for me because the accident was replaying in my mind over and over
Mm-hmm.
again. So the driver would have to drive very slowly, getting out of the car, going into the facility, not being in the waiting room, going to the from that area into the room. It was a lot of movement, and so she would have me do that as a way to reset my body. So once I would do that, she would then have me do specific breath exercises, which would help the parasympathetic nervous system relax, to
Mm-hmm.
feel peace. And that is the part of our nervous system that helps us to relax, that helps us to feel safe, that helps us to feel grounded. And she would have like very light music playing, so that would help the parasympathetic as well too. So that is what started in my brain injury, I would say, the breath work practice. And I
Mm-hmm.
continued that in preparing for appointments, be they virtual appointments or if it were an in person appointment. That would be something that I would do in preparation for that. And if I needed to, once I got to the appointment as well, and my practitioners were all very open and very happy that I had that tool that I would exercise prior to an
Mm-hmm.
appointment, be it acupuncture
Mm.
or whatever it was that I was appointing for.
And how has it
Mm-hmm.
evolved since then?
Oh gosh, into a method that I love, which is 646. Just even understanding the practice of breath work is such a profound practice. It is grounding, it's resetting, but it's also sending messages and giving instructions to our cells, to our blood. It is really profound. And so 646 is I found to be phenomenal. And in 646, what the person does is essentially they ground themselves. I always have people, if they feel comfortable, to keep their eyes closed, if not, to keep them open. Just to take a moment and just kind of relax the shoulders and to make sure that they feel safe where they are, to let themselves know that they are safe, that they are well. And then if they feel comfortable with putting their hands on their thighs, one on each thigh, um, and just again relax the shoulders. And usually, when people get to that place, they report already feeling a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I let them know that I'll be guiding, so they will hear my voice. And what we'll be doing is breathing very slowly for 6 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds, and then we're going to exhale slowly for 6 seconds. So then that would look like taking a deep breath and then inhaling through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It feels great.
See, isn't it amazing? I love 646, and I have, again, had the pleasure of doing it live, and what people report back after doing that, like, oh my goodness, Erica, that always is a really amazing feeling, and it's something we can't see. We cannot see breath, but it really has powerful, powerful, powerful implications once we're aware. And we're breathing with the set of instructions. It's really powerful.
And so with the 646, do you recommend doing it just one breath cycle or doing it back to back repeatedly for several minutes?
I usually ask people to do 3 cycles of 646. And in between each cycle to actually just, usually after the first cycle, there's like, wow, I feel so much better. Some people will report that after the first, they feel so much better. And so they're like, I'm good to go. So I'm like, okay, if you feel good. But what 3 cycles does is it offers training. And so in between those cycles, if they want to repeat an affirmation, if they want to, some people have reported back crying. If they, want to take have a journal, some of my people, I'll say, keep a journal right by. So if something comes up for you, you're able to write that down. But for practice with one-to-one or group, I normally do 3 cycles of 646.
Where did you first learn the 646, or did you find it on your own?
I actually, this is something that I made up on my own. And I say made up to say, like, there's definitely the influence of, I practice Hatha yoga. So there's definitely the influence of yoga, because Hatha yoga is very slow, very intentional. It's for beginners, experience, like wherever anyone is with as it relates to yoga. But it is something that I found myself that worked for me in my own breathwork practice. And so I thought to myself, wow, like this is really working for me with the brain injury. I feel like this will be helpful to crowds and multitudes of people. So